Hello, Santa here, and I have gotten tired of playing on a ranger. I've been doing physical attackers like almost all of these recordings, so I thought I'd change it up today and do some random stuff on my Elementalist. Specifically, apparently I haven't gotten Zenmai. Don't know why. I'm gonna fix that. By which I mean I'm gonna go get Zenmai. She can be found kind of over here. It's a little... There's not direct routes over there. Oh, this is some posts or partial oh, what do they call the clearing thing? It's nice, isn't it, being able to walk the street safely again? You have an interesting definition of safety. Just because the afflicted are gone doesn't mean there aren't any number of other threats. At least the Ministry of Purity is doing something about it. What has the Imperial Guard done for us lately? This is Winds of Change stuff. So we got some Ampha basically replacing the other spawns. So just a little bit of flavor going on there. So we're coming up here. Brian is over here. I haven't taken his quest. There's Zenmai as well. There's some Ampha dropping by. Brian is hard to save. And yes, I have a ton of enchantments I put on myself. Hi, Zenmai. She says, Sun Spears, sorry, I never heard of you. However, it would seem you are of some use in a fight. As Mosing, a masterless assassin, I move from employer to employer, like the wind. Unfortunately, my most recent employer was kidnapped by my former comrades, the Ampha, along with several other civilians from Kinding Center. They will force those poor souls to drink from their corrupted chalice, turning them into mindless, afflicted monsters. I know the location of their hideout in the Undercity. If you can face the danger, I would have you stand at my side. So, of course, that's what we're going to go do. This is not the most energetic and exciting quest, if I'm going to be honest about it. But here we are. We're just going to run down this way a little ways. Kinding Center is an interesting place, though. I like this little hallway bit here, actually. This spot's kind of cool. There, let's grab a random screenshot for a thumbnail later. Got a big old bell. Like, check out this bell. There's all these, like, little bits of, like, greenery spots, all these kind of slummy spots, but then these nice-looking spots. There's kind of hodgepodge of stuff. And yes, as an Elementalist, I have a ton of enchantments I keep going on myself in any given moment. And sometimes my spells even cast super fast, which is always nice. This is a partial recharge one, right? Yeah, it's the same sort of thing as that. I kind of could use an enchantment staff, but whatever. Oh yes, blind. It doesn't do anything to this character. Or hardly anything. One of the other things that's crazy is I currently have 19 air magic. I could theoretically be using stuff to get myself up even higher, but this is rated for a lot of damage at this point. We have to kind of curve around over here to kind of get where we're going. Ooh, linen. That's kind of cool. The other thing that you'll notice is that I have very energy-intensive spells, but I'm running a ton of rebate type skills. So these return energy to me whenever I use one of my spells. So even though this is 25 energy, I use it and I get like 20 back. It's crazy. So Elementalist definitely plays very differently than Ranger does. So my question is, do I have any... Ooh, I have a miniature flame gin. I also have this random fiery Balthazar's axe for some reason that I don't understand. Okay, I have a Spirit of the Forgotten. I'm going to switch the Spirit of the Forgotten over the suppressors, whatever. The Spirit of the Forgotten gives me a longer duration on my enchantments by 20%, and when they last like 60 seconds, basically, plus 20% amounts to quite a bit. That's like an additional 12 seconds, so well worth the addition. 6/5 is plus 20%. You know, random math facts of the day. So we will see some afflicted in here. I think in part it's because of the quest. There's some Kappa down here too. And as you can see, I don't have to worry about things like line of sight. Just like, oh, the enemy's over there. Okay, I hit them. Interesting. That air attunement I should probably put on last because it has the shortest recharge, so if it gets stripped... Also probably the least important. Now I have to try to remember my way around here. I think I go this way. If I'm remembering my directions correctly. It's admittedly been a while since I've come down here, so... I don't really want your disease, thanks. Bow Bow. Bow Bow. Yeah, Bow Bow Wave Wrath. Interesting. I don't know what he's about, but... I think that enchantment just hits... Yeah, it's the 74 that hit later. I need to get my stuff back on. Let's go ahead and switch the order of these, because I want to apply them in the opposite order. I want to go from 8 to 6. So swapping it makes it easier to do that. Oh, yeah, the fact that I'm using a physical weapon now, though, is confusing my ritualist into thinking I should have splinter weapon. Which is certainly not the worst, but not really what I'm about. This is mostly, yeah, it does like twice as much damage on the additional hits that happen if you have overcharge. I forget what they call that. It used to be exhaustion, and then they changed the name to indicate that it's fancy somehow. This guy babbles on for a while, and honestly, if I'm playing by myself, I basically go like half AFK at this point, as he just kind of talks and talks and talks. He's talking with about the ceremony that he wants to do, and Zenmai being here, and all these sorts of things. And then there's going to be some afflicted that show up, and then there's going to be some torment creatures from Nightfall, and that's kind of the whole sort of arc of it. And he's going to be like taunting Zenmai. If you really care about what's going on, you can read it here. I think I've potentially shown it off before. But it's an awful lot of dialogue, and I'm I've seen it plenty of times, so. Let's see. Oh, okay. We got to the part where we're killing him. Dead very quickly. Zhenglu was her previous employer, as an aside. Okay, now things start heating up a bit. Oh, that quickening Zephyr. Quickening Zephyr is rough. It has recharge times, but at the cost of like 50% increased costs and energy. Zenmai says, my blades have pierced the shuriken as surely as they have cut down these creatures, these demons. Through my steel, I could feel the same evil. It can be no coincidence. There is something greater at work here. Come, Sun Spirit, it would seem my answers lie in Ilona. Besides, I can't collect my pay from a dead afflicted, can I? Perhaps I need a new employer. Cool. We will, to finish this quest, I need to go speak to Kirk Arlon and Commandant. So, let's go to Commandant, Jewel of Easton. Spamadon, as people call it, because of all of the trading that goes on here. There might be some lower FPS and some lag. Oh yes, that 1 FPS for a moment there. That was a thing. Kirk Arlon. There we go. I've stolen eggs on this character. I might as well go ahead and do that too. Now Zenmai can join my party. Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and go back to Training Center and do stolen eggs. I'm not sure how much more... Like, I love Guild Wars 1, but I'm not sure how much more of it I'm really incentivized to, like, record necessarily, just because I feel like a lot of it starts to... I cannot add myself to my party, by the way. This is a mercenary hero, and I cannot add Cernia of the Void party. Where was I? Adding Kamu and Dora. And one more. One maybe? Not with this build. I don't even know what's going on here. What is even going on here? Okay, I don't mind Chaos Storm, Cry of Frustration, and like Mistrust. Let's just throw on Complicate. And then let's go Illusion Magic. And go Ineptitude, Clumsiness, Wandering Eye, and Signet of Clumsiness. That'll work. Then mine needs a real build. And she probably needs some real daggers. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that immediately. None of that business. Just dagger mastery. Dash is fine. Shadow Refuge is not what you're needing. Let's go for Wastrel's Collapse. Critical strikes. Critical defenses. Where's Lotus? No, not that one. Falling Lotus. And then just the popular Golden Fox, Death Blossom, Wild Strike combo. There, that'll work. That will work. I kind of want to drop intensity for something else, but I'm not sure what. Let's just keep working this particular business. But a lot of it, like, if I'm playing it, a lot of the narrative stuff I've shown off in one way, shape, or form or another. So it's something that, I guess just to kind of talk about some general random plans that I have going on. I'm wanting to adjust things with kind of my weekly schedule, so that way I can start fitting in streaming on Tuesdays. Tuesday afternoons my time, so that's Pacific Daylight Time right now. And that would... that adjustment would... that sort of time seems like a good time to potentially play Guild Wars, and maybe it'll come out for like filler stuff again in the future. But right now, it's just the thing that's really awkward for me is I don't want to get started on something that will be like a long time consuming thing to do, just because I know Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is coming out relatively soon, and I want to leave my schedule open for that. I'm going to want to start playing that when that starts, and I kind of don't want to put other stuff in there, so I've just been bandying about like what to do for the interim, and Airscape seemed like it's something that could be fun to do, but then I realized it was perhaps not my cup of tea, so it's okay. I'm glad that I got a chance to show it off a little bit, even if it's not 100% my thing. Now, what we're going to be seeing here is one of the vast differences between playing a physical attacker and playing a spellcaster. And specifically, that's this old chest right here. Now these guys are, of course, going to talk. We don't really care what they have to say. We are here for the old chest. So they can just babble. Now, when we pick this up, hostilities will officially begin. And they have Chillblains, which is not great for me. Yeah, that's stripping all of my enchantments. My build becomes significantly worse without my enchantments. Oh, they had... yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, you can see there the positives and the downsides. I don't have to use my weapon to attack, but on the other hand, all of my abilities cost energy to use. So if I'm out of mana, I can't do anything, or out of energy, and technically. It's... My energy is 43 of Sony. But the fact that I am energy-based like this means that I don't have to worry about dropping the thing all the time and all that sort of stuff. That was a huge frustrating annoyance previously. So there's trade-offs, right? Is really what it comes down to. And what I'm trading is, like, I'm basically effectively immune to blind, but I'm reliant on my energy. And so I'm trading that reliance on energy and having to worry about energy management to a much stronger degree for not worrying about blocks or blinds or any of that sort of stuff. See, like, I'm still hitting this Naga Archer despite the escape just because I'm able to. It's something that is afforded to me by being an Elementalist that does not rely on their weapon to attack. Apparently we somehow aggroed a few Rot Wallows. I want to pick up this gold, but hopefully that doesn't... Yeah, I was afraid that might happen. Man, intensity must be really good with Rodgort's Invocation. One of the problems, though, with playing an Elementalist is that, in terms of damage, your skills are really heavily affected by armor. Now, that doesn't matter too much in most of normal mode, particularly lower level areas of normal mode. But when you get to higher level areas, that really starts having much more of an impact. One of the things that you'll see is Elementalist builds need to tend to favor utility more the higher the level of the area is. This is not the way to go. Whereas, say, yeah, I have bypass you. Warriors and assassins and whatever else, like physical attackers, they are also affected by armor, but the damage on weapon skills is armor ignoring. So what I mean by that is if I pop this up and I click on Kamu, that plus 12 damage that he gets, or potentially plus 24, that completely ignores armor. It doesn't increase on low armor enemies, but it also doesn't decrease on high armor enemies. And that property is extremely powerful, as you can imagine. Also, you care about Dazed. Dazed is bad news, because it makes your spells easy to interrupt. Which means that any physical damage will interrupt your spell. It's not good to be dazed. And they have concussion shots, so you care about a different set of mechanics when you're playing a caster. And elementalists, like I said, have a particular concern about very specific aspects of that, where mesmers and necromancers in general have a lot of armor ignoring damage. We're going to care about this boss a lot. Lightning Surge, you say? You also tend to have more armor as a physical character. I'm going to take more damage in general, just because my character just does not have as much armor. Okay, so we took that down. Oh, intensity. This is all of the foes in the area. I don't know. Not sure if that's how that works. But anyway, so there's trade-offs, right? And mesmers are probably the most powerful class in the game, like single most powerful class in the game. Which isn't to say that things like monks and ritualists aren't really strong at times, but just that mesmer, in terms of what it does, it has a lot of very powerful disruption abilities. It has a lot of armor ignoring damage, which is also extremely powerful. And just on top of all of that, like stuff that they've got, their primary attribute makes it hard for any other class to use their skills, because their primary attribute is fast casting, which makes spells cast faster, which makes mesmer spells all have really long cast times for non-mesmers, for the most part. And for some reason in PvE, it also shortens the cooldown of mesmer spells, which, needless to say, is also very powerful. I'm going to drop a chain lightning there. So mesmers are just like, the higher level you go in PvP, the stronger they become. And, yeah, that's just how it goes. Now, we are coming up on where I need to deposit this. This might be kind of the long way. I did take a screenshot in this area earlier for an earlier episode on the Ranger. This Elementalist has done a lot more than that Ranger has by a lot, but hasn't done this because, again, I've usually been Kurzik. There are a lot more Naga bosses in here than I remember there being. That's interesting. I don't know why there's so many. Definitely all of these rangers is being rough for this particular Elementalist build, which is focused on damage dealing. Oh, I got enough experience for yet another skill point. That's cool. I don't have a whole lot more to say at the exact moment, but that's okay. We're kind of getting close to the end here. Yeah, what I took a screenshot of was that over there, because it's really, really cool. Got some Kappa up here, though. The internet memes. Maybe we'll slip by them. Looks like we will. That seems good to me. Have a lightning hammer. See, I also don't care about blurred vision, which lowers accuracy, but accuracy doesn't matter for me because accuracy only affects physical attacks. So it's all just a bunch of trade-offs. Okay, now we just talk to the hatchery keeper. If you want to see the dialogue and stuff here, you can check out the episode a few weeks back of my ranger doing it. That's properly labeled Gala Hatchery. I'm not going to do the mission now, though, because I just wanted to get this quest out of my inventory as well. Thanks. And you'll notice that Zenmai leveled up when I accepted that quest. Or quest reward, I should say. Now, apparently I need to go do... Okay. I need to report on these. Well, I guess let's go up that way then. And witness this thing they're talking about just outside the Eye of the North, the good old ice cliff chasms. Eventually. This is a very long ramp, is what I'm saying. Yep. This is a whole bit with the hailing Captain Langmar. Avenia of the Shining Blade, what brings you to the Eye of the North so far from your warm, sandy Kryta? I won't waste time beating around the bush. I've come to ask for your help. The White Mantle's numbers may have dwindled, but they make up for it with increased brutality, while Princess Salma's support among the people grows ever stronger. This is for the War in Kryta stuff. But now, the Mantle have taken to hiring thugs from the Outlands and beyond to terrorize us, all done with the flimsy excuse of keeping order and peace. Each day brings new indignity and suffering to my people. The Shining Blade and Ebon Vanguard have enjoyed a fruitful friendship before. Please, Kryta beseeches you, aid us. Gwen says... That Gwen, not the Vanguard Mesmer that's in my party right now. The Char keep our hands full, Crichton. You think we'll abandon all that we've bled for and march down to Kryta just to bail you out? Avenia says, the only thing I expect, girl, is that the Vanguard would express gratitude after Kryta took in so many Ascalonian refugees. Gwen has a valid point, Avenia. Ascalon needs the Vanguard here in the Shiver Peaks. However, we have no love for the White Mantle. Should we agree, what is Princess Salma prepared to do for Ascalon? Princess Salma has authorized me to reciprocate your offer. Should Ascalon's troops join us in taking back our country from these tyrants, then Kryta will assist in driving the Char from your lands for good. Obviously, this does not turn out. Langmar says, very well. I accept on behalf of the Ebon Vanguard, but we're not done. King Adalburn must also approve. Kryta is drowning. She needs your help now, not after months of dithering with Adalburn. You know he distrusts all things Crichton. I was hoping you would be more reasonable. Ascalon can no longer afford to pick and choose her allies as the Char continue devastating all we hold dear. Remind King Adalbern of our need for allies in the coming conflicts, and he will do the right thing. Please, I implore you, do not force such a delay. Is there no way I could convince you to help us sooner? I could perhaps send a single elite Ebon Vanguard unit to train your peasants to fight and conduct critical missions throughout the region while you garner the king's blessing for a larger force. I'm still skeptical, but if that's the nature of your support, so be it. These elite better be good. Venya is not amused. If you supply me with rations for the trip, I could leave immediately for Ascalon City and gain audience with King Adalbern. Princess Salma plans to retake control of Lion's Arch within the fortnight. I hope your men can be there by then. More than enough time to prepare, and the travel is instant by the Asura Gate. Well, that's settled. Now, who's going to assist the Crichtons against the White Mantle? I'll go, says Lieutenant Thackeray. What? Captain, please, I really must insist that this is a bad idea. The Ebon Falcons will go to Kryta. We can train the Shining Blade recruits on hit-and-run tactics, ambush techniques, tracking, tricks that we've picked up fighting the Char over the years. Captain, surely we need Lieutenant Thackeray here in the Shiver Peaks. His unit is the cornerstone of our operation. Why is Jorah using Ranger drum emotes? Are you sure about this, Lieutenant? Absolutely. I wouldn't mind a little sun. Besides, there's nothing to keep me here. It's been quieter lately, and I'm a soldier. I go where the fight is. The fight is here. The Ebon Falcons are needed here. Why not send Westar or Nye's unit? Here's Westar. There's Casey Carpenter. There's a random Deldrimmer scout. You're right, Gwen. They are our most successful, and I promised Avenya our elite. We can afford to pull a single company from patrol rotation, even if it is the Ebon Falcons. Captain Lingmar, I must protest. If you're not going to trust my judgment on these matters... On the contrary, Gwen, I trust your judgment implicitly, which is why I'm leaving you here in command of the Vanguard while I travel to Kryta with Lieutenant Thackeray's men. What? But... I'm the best at training people with no military background, and the Falcons would be far more valuable conducting special operations than training peasants. Besides, I want Salma to see that I am serious about this alliance. Take good care of my Vanguard while I'm gone, Gwen. You know what to do. Ankoro dropping that little wisdom bomb. Lieutenant Kieran. Yes? Something you want to say to me, Gwen? No. No. You'll notice, by the way, that the heroes are arrayed in front of me with melee fighters in front and then spellcasters kind of around me and behind. It's something that you don't see as much if I'm more of a physical attacker, for example, or a melee attacker especially. And Thackeray says, I didn't think so. Goodbye, Gwen. She does /pout. /pout. And runs off. Cool. That update the quests. Okay, so now I just need to finish this part, which is reporting on business. I'm not going to do that today, though. I'm just going to drop to the Temple of Ages and call things there. I feel like this has had enough random stuff happening, so hopefully people have enjoyed it. I'll be back to Hollow Knight on the morrow. Solmo, why couldn't I just talk to you here? Ah. It used to be a different character model here, by the way, before the whole Warren Krytus stuff happens, but they've updated things to accommodate the changes. So, anyway, until next time, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.